So I know I've talked about the AI stuff that I use, Luma, Kling, Pixverse, Runaway, video.net, that's VIDDU, as well as Pika, and apparently and Halo U, that is, and apparently what I've been hoping for some of them is actually occurring. For example, Luma, which was one of the first ones I started to use, it is showing some improvement. Not much yet, but it is showing some improvement. They've added in what's known as Ray 2, which through text, somewhat image as well, but text to video mostly is showing a little improvement in giving you what you want. Not totally, but it's getting there. The other thing as well is they've decided to, I guess you could say, update a lot of stuff, especially when it comes to memberships and everything. And for example, when I first started with their membership, the primary membership that I started using would only give me like 300 a month, 300 credits a month, and that was it. And there was no option to buy any credits at all. But then recently they updated the service and their terms and everything, and now those 300 have become 10,000, which is pretty nice. And they did finally add in credits that you can buy, but just like with Runaway, you can adjust how much you want to spend. And what's interesting about this one is they probably have the lowest cost that I can think of that you can choose from at $4. I'm not lying about that. They potentially have the lowest cost that I can think of, the lowest, because like I said with Runaway, all you have to do is click on the up button or the up arrow button when you want to buy credits to choose how many credits you want and at what price. Like at 1,000 credits, you spend $10. 1,100 credits, which is 1,100, you spend $11. 1,200 credits, 1,200 credits, that's $12, and so on. Well, they recently switched it up to where now, not only can you get more credits and everything, but like I said, you could choose it. So, and what's interesting about this, fast credits and everything, you could get for $4, I'm looking at this right now, for $4, you could get 1,200 credits to add to what you already have. So right now, for me, I have 7,192 out of the 10,000 I got, right? And this is what it resets to. My current plan, which is the $29.99, which may change, is 10,000 credits a month. The $9.99 one is 3,000, and you can still add to that. And then you got the free one, which is limited usage, lower priority, and all that, but you can still buy credits and so on. And then if you go a little bit higher and everything, you get some more benefits. Like the unlimited version gives you everything else does. The Ray 2 access, the upgrade in images and videos, the high priority, and all that. It gives you that. The commercial use and all that. It gives you that and the 10,000 credits, but it also gives you unlimited use in relaxed mode, whatever that means. And that's for unlimited and enterprise. And enterprise is only yearly. But unlimited is $94.99 if you got the money to do that. And plus is $29.99, which is what I'm using right now, although that might change over time. But they do not allow you to use your stuff but the thing is, they don't allow you to use your stuff or anything like that until you are up to date on your payment. So hopefully, maybe with your guys' help, with super chats, super thanks, checking out the Teespring store, Cash App, Venmo, and all that, checking me out at rumble.com, as well as checking out my podcast as well, will help out in the long run. But yeah, basically the one I'm at right now is basically the one you want, at the cheapest to get the most, which is 10,000. And like I said, the credits, and like I said, you can buy credits starting at $4. So like at $4, you get 12,000. At $8, you get 2,400. At $12, 3,600, 16, 4,800, 6,000 at $20, you know, and so on. They go by even is what they do. So like 24, you get 7,200, 28, 8,400, you know, $32, 9,600. You $36, you get 10,800. At $40, 12,000. You know, 44, 13,200. At 48, 14,400. 52, 15,600. 56, 16,800. 60, 18,000 credits. 64, 19,200 credits. 68, 20,400 credits. 72, 21,600 credits. $76, 22,800 credits. And, you know, up to 80, which is the highest they go, you would, at $80, you get 24,000 credits. But to start off, you get 1,200 for $4. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And that basically to me is what puts them a little ahead now of other places. You know, of other places credit-wise. Credit-wise, not, you know, prompt-wise. Because they're still lagging prompt-wise behind Kling. They're still lagging behind Kling prompt-wise. So that's the only thing. And like I said, the one thing they added was Ray 2 tracing. Now, do they do some things a little bit better? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like there was like two scenes from one of the recent chapters for the from one of the recent installments of Pink Benefits 19, which is the continuation of Trouble TRO's Pink Benefits series. And it actually does pretty good in giving you what you want. Maybe not exactly what you're asking for, but it kind of gives you what you're but it kind of gives you something that you could be like, yeah, I can imagine seeing that in the story and everything. You know, it will give you what you want, you know, through like image to video. You know, it will try to give you what you're asking for. But, you know, like not entirely, but it will come close. It will kind of give you what you're asking for, but not entirely, which kind of proves that they still have a lot to learn and everything down the line. You know, they still have a lot to learn down the line, but there are certain images it does work for and everything. So I'm kind of glad for that as well. Like I said, it gives you kind of what you're asking for and everything. You know, when you want it to. And everything, it does kind of give you what you're asking for, but like I say, not entirely, because of the fact that it's still learning. It sometimes takes your prompts and what you're emphasizing in the prompts, and decides, oh, okay, you mean this, and you don't mean that. You mean something entirely. So that's about it. And then the text to prompt, that, you know, that's kind of still learning as well. It does kind of give you what you're asking for, but not entirely, and everything. And I think the reason for it is it goes a little quicker. I think the quicker it goes, the less time it has. But sometimes it does work in your advantage as well. But again, that's where Kling kind of takes the lead, if you will, above all else, because they take their time. Either it's with the 1.0 option, the 1.5, or the 1.6. They take their time. They don't rush into anything. And I like that. I really do. Now, what's interesting about Kling is they did add a few things as well. First of all, when you do generate something as well, the new image that you get is not like, you know, what it was before. Now it's like little arrows, you know, kind of like going back and forth, like those little light up arrows that kind of say like, okay, you're in a queue, and then, oh, okay, now your thing's going. That's basically what you have. You got these little arrows now going back, you know, going like from one to the other, letting you know the progress of your prompt and whether it will be ready or not. And they do give you the time frame of how long a prompt is going to take. 1.6 is getting better at the quickness of it, if you will, but not as much. 1.5 is a little longer, but 1.5 also added the end frame. When they first came around, even after 1.6 was introduced, there was no end frame. There was no, transitional frame, if you will, to a next scene. It was just one frame. But recently they did add the frame. They did add the end frame for it. So now you could take one image and another image that seem to like coincide with each other, or could be taking place one scene after the other. And there you go. You could have the first scene and then what you could perceive being the scene that follows, work together in tandem. So I like that. I really do. And you do sometimes get decent results. I'm not denying that. You do sometimes get decent results. The 1.6 though, they haven't done that yet, but I've got a feeling probably very soon, maybe before the spring, but maybe around the spring, you're going to see 1.6 add the end frame to it, because 1.6 is definitely one of the best versions they've done so far, because it does kind of give you close to what you're asking for and everything. The only issue I have with this is that it's the credits. The credits do seem to go a little faster, no matter what your plan is. They do seem to go a little faster, and that to me is an issue. That is an issue they need to fix. Yes, they do give you in standard mode. Even with the 1.6 option, Kling does give you the option to do standard mode, which would cost about 20 to 40 credits, depending on the length of the video you want, whether it's 5 seconds or 10 seconds. It all depends. But when it comes to like the high priority, like the professional, 3570, that is an issue. And a lot of people are going to be tempted to go with the professional option because they feel that might be the better solution. But to me, it's your choice. It's a choice you will have to make. My suggestion, and I should be teaching myself this, is when you get to that, when you get to a certain level in your credits that you've utilized, basically go from 35 to 20, especially if you're going to use 1.5. And hell, if you want to even go to 1.0 and use the standard 5 to 10 second clips or 10 second credit, the 5 to 10 second options, where you use only like 10 to maybe 20 credits at most. But mainly, if you're going to do 1.6 and 1.5, go with 20 and 40 on standard mode. That should save you just a little bit here and there as you progress. Now, the other thing they did add in was elements. So you can add in certain elements to your picture, to your video or your image. You can add in certain elements like snowy background, sun going down in the background, stuff like that. You could do that, which I think is really great. And again, 1.6 and 1.5 have definitely proven that there is improvement that has been made to where you kind of get close to what you're asking for, but not entirely. You're getting there, but not entirely. But I do like the progress. Again, the only issue I have is the fact that they need to lower the number on credits that you utilize when it comes to professional mode and standard mode when you're using the new 1.6 and 1.5 options on Kling, because again, people are going to be tempted to go with the higher option, the higher upgrade in for quality and accuracy and all that. They're going to go with that, and it's going to cost them. So to me, Kling needs to kind of downgrade that a little bit, kind of ease off on it a little bit, if you will. If not, just limit people then. Limit people to the 20 to 40 credits standard mode if they get to a certain amount of credits left on their account, or at least for that day. Have them get set at at the standard mode in 1.6 and 5, 1.5 and 1.6 I should say. Have them get set to that if they get down to a certain amount. But that's up to them. If I'm them, I would do something like that. But outside of those criticisms, I do like what they've done. They've also added, if you're just into AI imagery, they've added the colors option, which is, I think, gives you a better quality and atmospheric image that you want to see become reality. So I do like that and everything. I do like it. And yeah, overall, Kling is still leading in the accuracy for like what you want out of your image and your video, kind of close to it. Not there yet, but they're very close, but they're getting there. You could sense it. And like I said, they're kind of in that slight lead. The one that's below them is Pixverse. Luma is a close second, but they're kind of like, right there. They're still in third. But yeah, Pixverse it's right in that second mode, and definitely in that second place mode, because recently, not only did they upgrade or update their system and everything, and what you can use, they finally added in transitional frame. Now, I don't know if it's been there before and I haven't noticed, but they finally added that in so that now you can actually add in a second frame or second image to get the results you want to get. And so far, from what I've been getting, it has been kind of cool. It's been kind of cool from what I've been getting. But again, are they perfect? No, they're not entirely perfect, because sometimes they're not always going to give you what you ask for. Like if you want two characters, I got this image from one of the early access folders from Lava Story, who's doing the Emily Saunders series, of her and Kathleen kind of making up, in a very intimate, shape-shifting, gooey way. Basically, I have this image to where they're, they're embracing each other intimately and all that. And I'm saying, okay, fuse them together, merge them together, and all that. And if you just use like one image, it's not going to work. But if you use two images, like one that goes like back to back with the other, there's a good chance it will. And if you say, okay, they merge into one being, there's a good chance you might get that or may not. Because again, it's still learning. So you're always gonna probably be rolling the dice when it comes to that. If you will, you'll be rolling the dice when it comes to that. But it's nice to see that they got the transitional frame in there now, so that you can add in a second image that coincides with the other one to see what happens. As a result, if you will. They also kind of changed it up now to where basically when you look at the guideline or the little prompt section and you have all those options, basically what Pixverse has done is the first option is image to video and all that, or just text to image/text to video. And what that means is you can only put a picture there. In the past, you used to be able to put both picture and video, but now they've moved the video portion over to a new section that they've added called extension. That's what they've done. So they've separated, extension from image and text, made image and text to video its own thing, and have basically put extension as its own thing as well. So now if you download a video from, let's say, Kling or Luma or Runaway, and it's like, let's say 5 seconds or 10 seconds, because it's got to be below, I think, 15 to 20 seconds, or below 18 seconds, I believe, or around that. Well, yeah, it's got to be below 18 seconds or less. But anyway, if you download another video from that and basically upload it over to Pixverse to try to see if you can get what you have been wanting, kind of like mix and match, if you will, basically you have to now go to the extend option, or the extend section that they put in there, instead of going to image and text, because now, like I say, they separated both of them into their own categories, which can be confusing. Don't get me wrong, it can be confusing, but it does take getting used to, and over time you will kind of like I'm trying to do, you will try to get more used to it as you progress. The other thing I do like as well is when you go to your home page on it, if you have an account, you don't get the whole created section anymore. Like on the right side of the screen, you see all the creations you've made. You don't get that. You don't get it that way anymore. To where it's like create, and you get like three images all at once, or not 3 images, but 3 prompts go in at once. No, instead they have this section with all your creations that you've done, all the prompts you've created, and you can click on each one and recreate them. They'll give you the create and download option to go with, and you click on them just like on Luma, just like what Luma has done as of late, where it's basically the same thing. It's like all your creations are right there, and then you click on one of them to try to either download it to maybe put into a compilation video you want to present to people, or you want to extend. Once again, you want to download what you created and then put it and then upload it to Pixverse, as well, in the extension area, and then try to extend it even further. You could do that, or you could press create, and you could create basically what you want to do. Now, I will say this though. Going back to that little prompt area with all the options that you could click on. basically, you have image to text, image slash text to video, transitional frame, and extend, and they're all their own separate prompts. That's the one thing you got to keep an eye on. They are all their own separate prompts. So when you go to text to video or image slash text to video, it's going to be its own prompt. When you go to extension, its own prompt. Transition, its own prompt. That's going to be a little confusing, but once you get the hang of it, you should be all right. But yeah, basically going back to what I was saying, if you've seen what Luma has done lately with how they take your creations and they put them into this main area to where you see them, you can click on them, maybe maybe modify them and all that. Pixverse has done the same thing or done something similar to where now you can click on them, download, or create them or recreate them once again. The other reason I think they did this as well is a lot of people like myself have been having issues to where on the original layout, when we would click for when we would click for the image to be created into a video, or the text to be created into a video, we would end up accidentally, if not on their part, clicking not once but 2 or 3 times, and thus we would waste about, depending on what you were using, we would waste about 15 to 30 credits. So, or mostly 30 credits, if you will, or 60 credits, depending on, like the length of the video you go, because 5 seconds give you 5 seconds will cost you 30 credits, 8 seconds will cost you 60 credits, but still, what I'm getting at is basically people were having issues. I was having issues where we would click. Well, when we would click at what we thought would be just one time, for one prompt, we'd end up getting 2 or 3, and that was making us lose credits. So thankfully they fixed that to where now when you go to their main page and you see all the creations you've made, all you have to do is just click on it once and you should be good to go. And that even goes for when you're doing something original. You just have to click on it once and you're good to go. No losing credits whatsoever in anything anymore, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's what Pixverse has done. They've added in the transitional frames. They've put a new layout out to make it easier for you to look at the creations you made, go back and select one to recreate it, and they made it almost easier to avoid using more than the credits you're intending to use when you create a prompt. So I appreciate them doing that very much. I really appreciate them doing that very much. But again, is it perfect? No. Is it perfect? No. Now the only other one that has not changed is Halo U AI. The only thing they did announce is the new what is it? The S2V-01. The live version of that is available to free users now. The new update, the new S2V-01 update is now available to free users as long as you have the credits. So that's the only thing they've changed. With their service. Hopefully they'll be able to, get to that next level, because with Pixverse putting in the transitional frame, they've kind of overtaken Halo U in that position. And Halo U is like right there with Kling in that third position, tied in that third position, for not only giving you accuracy or close to accuracy of what you're asking, but giving you decent quality. But again, what Halo U needs to do is do exactly what Pixverse did and add in that transitional frame, so that you can add another image into it if you go the image to video route to see, what the result will be. So I think once they add in the transitional frame part to the service, to the services, I should say, I think they will definitely go from being tied with Kling at third to overtaking Pixverse at number 2, if you will. Not Kling. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Luma. But yeah, Halo U will be, they will overtake, Kling. They will overtake Pixverse. I'm trying to find right words to say, you guys. I do apologize. Almost had a brain fart there. I guess, when you get caught up doing these kind of things, you'll you'll misinterpret one thing for the other and then have to correct yourself. That's been obvious. I mean, if you watch some video streams where people are doing some news talking and all that, you kind of see it. Even the news media outlets have to, the actual news media outlets like Fox News and all them have to correct themselves. But getting back to what I'm saying, essentially, like I said, if HaloU.ai adds in that transitional frame to the service, they will overtake, in my opinion, they will overtake Pixverse as the number 2 option behind Kling. They will overtake them. They will overtake them behind Kling. That's my opinion. Because Kling is still there when it comes to accuracy and all that. They are still there when it comes to accuracy and all that, no doubt. So to me, Luma, to me, HaloU, if they add in the transitional frame like Pixverse did, then that will make them overtake, if not tie Pixverse as the number 2 option behind Kling. Well, Luma, they're getting better. There's no doubt they are getting better, and they've added in the credits, the purchase credits option and everything. They've increased the credits monthly for your subscription, so that's helping them get back there. But again, they need to improve on what they give you, because there are some things they do give you. Don't get me wrong, and I can see why others that I follow on creatively use it. But I think over time, they're going to have to really improve. They've added in the Ray 2, as I mentioned earlier, that gives you, they're supposed to, through text to video, give you more accurateness in what you want created, image and video-wise. And it does slightly work with images right now, but it's mostly text based. I think over time, once they improve that to where it includes both text and image, you're going to get something very special. And like HaloU, it might give them the edge to get back up to that top tier right behind Kling, if not surpass it. So to me, Luma just needs to work on that. Getting the Ray 2 thing going and everything, as well as really just show once again why the premier source for AI and all that, for fun or whatever for people to use. Once they get that corrected to where when someone says, hey, we want these 2 gooey slime girl characters merging together, fusing into one girl, once they get that done and everything, down the line, I'm just using that as an example. Once they get something like that, to work, to kind of get that close to accuracy, to me, they might be right there tied at number 1 with Kling, while Pixverse and HaloU will be at number 2 and everything. But again, it all depends on what they bring to the table in the future. Again, Luma has really improved by increasing the monthly credits and everything, as well as giving people the option to buy more credits at more affordable pricing. So I do like that. All they have to do now is work on improvement with the Ray 2 thing that they put in there, to where it doesn't just focus on text to video, but image to video as well. So I would definitely work on that with them. And also with them and Pixverse and others, I think they also have to improve on their literacy, if you will. They have to get their AI to understand what is an appropriate word and not an appropriate word, what's an appropriate prompt, what's not an appropriate prompt. Because I was trying to use certain words, and Pixverse and Luma would come up and say, oh no, that goes against our guidelines. And all I was using was the words flow, oozing, cover up. It's like, what's going on here, right? So to me, once they work out those issues, they should be fine. They should be fine. But guys, right now, AI is definitely looking like, whatever servers you use, definitely looks like 2025 is going to be a year of vast improvement and vast updates that are going to make this a lot more fun to use in the near future. But yeah, to me right now, if I was to rate them again, as I've done before, Kling would be there, would be there at the top, but just barely, I should say, would be up there at the top, just barely. Well, basically, Pixverse, now with adding the transitional frame and all that, would be right there, kind of at number 2, with HaloU and Luma, right on their tail in 3rd, and Runaway and Pixverse right there at number 4. Runaway, I think, could also surprise people this year as well. And then, of course, we got the announcement of VO2 coming by Google, and that's supposed to be a lot better. It's supposed to be better than all the ones I've mentioned, and we'll see about that. And then, of course, you got Sora about OpenAI. We'll see. You know, apparently that's pretty good and everything, but obviously some people have said it still has some, bugs to work out as well. So, yeah, this is 2025, I think, is going to be a big year for updates and upgrades when it comes to these AI services. But like I said, if I was to look at them from a rank position, a top position, from first to third, Kling, Pixverse, and tied at third would be Halo U and Luma. And then at fourth, if you want to extend it there, we would have Runaway and Pika Arts. And then maybe at 5, according to what people are saying, would be Sora. But we'll have to see. And again, VO2 is coming. We'll have to see how that, from VO2 is coming from Google. And we'll have to see how that's going to work out. A lot of people that have gotten early access to it have said it actually is pretty good. But we'll see. But give me your thoughts, guys, on what I've had to say here. How do you feel about all these upgrades and updates, the services I've mentioned that I use have gone through? Do you think it's going to help them? Which one do you think will be the top AI service outside of the upcoming one, like let's say VO2, which is being hyped up as being better than all of them? What are your thoughts about that? What issues do you think still has to be worked out with some of them? And yeah, just let me know what your thoughts are. So until next time, guys, comment below, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, click on the links in the description to check out my podcast and all your favorite audio and video podcast affiliates like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Audible, Spotify, and Radio Public, and any other outlet that provides you with your favorite podcast. You will possibly more than likely find mine there as well. Also, check me out at Odyssey.com at BWRoses, Rumble.com at BWRoses, VENMO.com at BWRoses. Check out the Venmo and the Cash App to help out there. Also, check me out at my Teespring store for merchandise you can't get anywhere else. Also, check me out at Twitter at BWRoses and Blue Sky as well. But guys, give me your thoughts. Love to hear what you have to say on all this. What services do you utilize the most? And what improvements, like I said, do you think they need to go through? Love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. Because again, like I said, I think 2025 AI for us consumers is going to blow up in a big way.